Zen Comedy started as a monthly live show in Phoenix, Arizona, and then got on to Amazon Prime as a comedy special. How did that happen? This is the behind the scenes of how that exactly happened. Years ago, I was doing a monthly show at the Reiki Academy in Arizona. It's, if you don't know what that's like, just picture yoga studio, right? It's a Zen space. And in that monthly show, I would have a headliner, a feature, I would host, and it was a good time. I would bring in comedians that were on the road or comedians that I loved locally to headline or work with. And it was a fun hangout, and it was BYO, bring your own soda. And it was good. Loved it. Doing it every month. Had a lot of fun. And then as I was doing that monthly show, at the same time, I had a TV show called The Big Laugh that got picked up by Amazon Prime and Tubi. And at this point on, I think it's like 10 different streaming services overall. And we learned a lot because The Big Laugh, if you don't know, it's each episode is two comedians doing 15-minute sets, and it was filmed in a comedy club in Arizona. Great. So we were doing that. We saw the success from that, and we thought, man, this cool Zen Comedy monthly show that we have a lot of fun doing, like, what if we made that into something? What if we made that into a special? So I took everything that I learned from The Big Laugh, right? Learned distribution, edited, like, I knew editing, but like really fine tune editing for a TV show. And I took all that knowledge that I had and I said, let's apply it to this monthly show on a much, much smaller scale, right? Because with comedy clubs, like The Big Laugh was filmed in, you have wonderful lighting, you have good sound, you have often tons of space to put cameras. And so Zen Comedy had none of that. Like Zen Comedy was filmed at the Reiki Academy, which like is max 30 seats. So you had to take out seats to add cameras. You had to add lighting, and we always set up our own sound system. And you're like, okay, so cheap sound system and small lights and this space. Like you have to really know what you're doing. You gotta really finesse to make this happen. I knew how I wanted it to work. I wanted to switch from having just a big headliner to having a showcase style where I could have some of my friends doing 15-minute sets. And then I also learned from distribution from The Big Laugh of what they didn't like about The Big Laugh. And one of the things they didn't like about The Big Laugh is that it's in black and white. A lot of distribution was like, hey, it should be in color. And to be honest, I love how The Big Laugh looks. But I get it. It's probably easier to sell something that's in color versus black and white. And the other thing that they didn't like about The Big Laugh was that it's episodes. And they're like, hey, just take all this and put it into like a feature film length. Like just do that next time. And so we did. So we made it, it's like an hour and 5 minutes or something like that. And it's just all one piece. And it's a showcase of still all these great comics that I knew and enjoyed. So taking that knowledge from The Big Laugh, reworking it, applying it to a smaller project like this was crazy and difficult in certain ways, but in new ways. Like The Big Laugh had its own problems, and now this was like a whole different thing, right? And so got the comedian set up, tons of wonderful comics are on it. If you haven't watched it yet, it's actually free now on this YouTube channel. And maybe that's how you're watching this right now, is it got suggested because you watched Zen Comedy. So we get the comedians. We work with the same production company, Heavy Feathers Production. Josh Boyle, a friend of mine, owns it. He helped me film The Big Laugh. He helped me film Zen Comedy. He's helped me film many projects after that, right? And so we all worked together to make this happen on a small scale. And then it was just up to selling tickets, getting butts and seats, having a fun time. And we already knew how to do all that. So that problem wasn't the issue. It's definitely, all the technical that comes with that. So the day of, we had a few hiccups. One hiccup was I thought we had enough lighting. I set up a couple lights the day before. I tested on some cameras, thought it was fine. And then Josh and his team got there and he was like, hey man, you got to add more lights. So we added some more lights and we kind of ended up delaying the show a little bit because of adding lights. And just, double checking sound, and you got to mic the audience, and, kind of checking in on some of that stuff that you also need a full room to do a little bit of that tweaking. So we finally get it good. And by the way, Patrick Bean, who is on the show, he's in Zen Comedy. You can watch it. He is such a kind human being, but also he got there early. He helped set up. He helped stand in. He like helped us with lighting and moving things, and it just a great dude. And I appreciate all the help because we were working with a skeleton crew on this one. We had a lot more team members for the Big Laugh and a lot less for Zen Comedy because, space requirements and also budget requirements. So thank you, Patrick. If you're watching this, Patrick, thank you. So we get all the hiccups out of the way that I think of. And then the night goes well. People love it. It's a good time. And then it's all about the editing, right? Editing, baby. It takes time. And so when I say I spent some time editing and I found all the new issues, as you do when you film these live specials. And so it's always interesting to me to like companies like 800-Pound Gorilla and Don't Tell Comedy and Hulu and all these that just pump out specials where I'm sure they're like, we've dealt with every sound issue. Like, I feel like I've done a handful now and I know every sound issue and every video issue that could happen, I guess. Like, you just learn from it. But during editing, I had to do some color correction issues, had to deal with like a little bit of sound issues, and it was a real learning, experiment. So once you're done editing, it's time to find distribution, right? So with the Big Laugh, a few things that we did was I went with Film Hub to get onto many streaming services, but they actually struggled to get it on Amazon for some reason. So I opened a distribution company that you could do with Amazon. I became a distribution company with them, and I distributed the Big Laugh to them, right? So when it came to Zen Comedy, I was going to go kind of down the same path, but I did meet with other with other distribution companies overall, just to kind of see what other options there are besides Film Hub. But after meeting a bunch of them, I still went with Film Hub because I felt, hey, I feel like they did good work, and I feel like they're the most transparent out of a lot of them. I felt like I was having these meetings and wasn't really getting the focus or the answers that I was looking for on some of that transparency. So Film Hub, you have to go through quality control. So I edited for a long time, cried a little bit, cried some more, finished the project. And then I remember it was like in December where like you have to upload all your stuff and then go through quality control. And then we passed quality control pretty quickly. And I remember I have a group chat with everyone that was in Zen Comedy. And I remember telling the group chat, hey, we passed quality control. We'll see who picks it up. Hopefully Amazon, hopefully these other big companies, right? And then within days, Amazon Prime bought it right away. And then a week later, we were live on Amazon Prime. So it was just quality control, passed, Amazon Prime, live on Amazon. And we're just this is crazy. And we're all excited. And for comedians, it's important to have TV credits. It's kind of like a checkbox that says, hey, you're approved by someone to be a comedian. It's kind of the vibe in the comedy world. So it's cool that all these comedians now have Amazon Prime credits, and, just excited about that. And so for a long time, it was just available on Amazon Prime, and we're cool with that. It was good. And what I liked about working with Film Hub is it's on Amazon Prime in many different countries versus the Big Laugh where I did distribution for Amazon Prime. I'm only allowed to do certain countries, so it's very limited. But with Film Hub, they have a much bigger contract with Amazon, so it's live, and we can see that it's gotten, I think the most views that it's gotten is actually in the UK, which is interesting. But now that it's live on YouTube, I'm curious to see how that's going to go. But that's a whole other thing. And so we were excited about Amazon. Things were good. And then when time went on and I realized that, I think it's gotten a lot of eyeballs, and I think it's gotten the eyeballs that it's going to get for now. Let's release it for free on YouTube. So that's why I decided to add it to this YouTube channel. And thank you so much for everyone that's watched it. Like, the comedians are excited. They've been sharing it. I've been sharing it on social media. And I didn't realize how many people were just excited to see it in a different place, that they can quickly watch it on the YouTube app on their TV. And I've been getting some kind messages, and it's just really cool to see, like, almost, it's, like, it's been out for a little while now, and so to see this, like, energy back into it of people excited about this project, it's great to see. And I put a lot of time and effort into this, and I appreciate everyone that has watched it. So if you watched it, thank you so much. And so that's how we went from a monthly show that we enjoyed into being on Amazon Prime. Was just a lot of learning, a lot of DIY, and here we are. So thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm a filmmaker and a comedian, and I'm trying to grow this into a network where I can post other comedy of my own, comedy of other people's, and podcasts and documentaries and just so much. So if you could subscribe, that would really help me out. And I'll talk to you soon in the next one. Thanks.